Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. If you're new here, my name's Anthony. I'm a business profit advocate. On this show, we interview entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, and just people doing cool things. For example, today we're meeting Karen Baines. She's a conscious wealth mentor. She's been doing it for for over a decade, and she helps people realign with the things that they can't see to get the things that they can. How you doing today, Karen?
I'm doing great. It's lovely to be here. Thank you
Yeah,
for.
love having you here. I loved our conversations before. I figure a lot of people out there might want to get to know you a little bit. So, where are you calling in from?
England. So I'm not too far outside of London in England. Yeah, ways from you. Where ways from
Yeah, yeah, a bit of a walk and then a swim for me. So,
me? Yeah.
okay, awesome. So, are you a lifer? You been there your whole life? Or are you newer to the area?
No, I actually live very close to where I was born. So I've been here my whole life. And yeah, was born about 20 minutes up the road. So very much a home girl.
Okay, awesome. As a native to the area, what do you recommend people do if they go and visit? So, if I do make that walk and that swim, what should I do first?
Definitely going to London, but bring an umbrella.
Okay,
Unless it's the height of summer, bring an umbrella. But London town is where it's at for sure. It's beautiful.
okay, awesome. Never been, but I'd like to. It's definitely on the
Mhm.
list. But yeah, I'll need an umbrella. So,
You
so
certainly would if you came over round about now.
yeah, yeah. So, what can you tell us about what you do? What's the conscious wealth mentor?
Well, I think I'm the only one, to be honest. A conscious wealth mentor. So what I teach is the energetic language of money. I work with business owners and entrepreneurs, very much same as you do. And I I help them understand how to broadcast a frequency that is always vibrating money so that the universe can deliver money to them as a byproduct of that frequency. So people talk a lot in my industry about mindset and clearing blocks and restrictions and dealing with the relationship with money. I don't do any of that. What I teach is alignment. So I've got my own modality, which is called the Conscious Wealth Code. And what I do through that is teach my clients what alignment looks like for them so that they are always in alignment. And as a byproduct of that, they make money. They make money, they make more money. They're always able to up level into the next frequency of money that's available to them. And it's all through alignment. So people come to me because they want to make more money. And I guess they think I'm going to teach them money. But what I actually teach them is alignment. And money is a byproduct of that. You don't have to try, you don't have to effort. When you understand alignment, it transcends everything.
Okay, awesome. How'd you get started doing this? It's been over 10 years. So what was the triggering
Wow.
event?
Well, I had a background in finance, but from a very young age, I was always very interested in personal development. And as I got older, that sort of turned into an interest in sort of like more of a spiritual path. And then I discovered universal law, just like everyone else, I guess, at the time. Everyone was talking about the law of attraction and manifesting and that kind of stuff. So I was a student of that for a while. And then the whole time I was still running my finance business. I was still running a bookkeeping business, and I was working with clients on their accounts. And essentially, the way I see it and the way I explain it, the universe very much wanted me to merge the two. And I, for a very long time, kept the two versions of myself, if you like, very separate. But eventually, um, the pull was so strong that I couldn't ignore it. And I collided the two versions of myself because I was looking at people's accounts and I knew why they weren't making any money. And it usually didn't have anything to do with their businesses. And I found that I was talking to clients, bookkeeping clients, and kind of coaching them on other stuff. And then they'd make more money. So eventually, I dropped the bookkeeping and just focused more on like the personal development and the spiritual side of things. And then my code, my conscious wealth code, was a byproduct of that. As I stepped further into alignment myself, the work that I was meant to do in the world, like, emerged through me as a result of that. And as you say, I've been doing it for more than 10 years now. And the version of my business goes from strength to strength, and I work with some wonderful people, and I absolutely love what I do, so I'm very blessed.
So yeah, you love what you do, but what's your favorite thing? You've been doing it for 10 years. What's the top of your
Oh, my
favorite thing?
favorite thing to do with clients is to unpack and unravel what I call the misaligned choices that my clients are making, so that they can make changes in their life and then see the results. So yeah, I don't, as I say, I don't work with mindset. And I basically say that mindset shifts happen as a result of working with me, but the work that I do and the work that I teach my clients to do is very grounded and practical. So they come to me, and we'll be looking at money and energy in a very different way to how everyone else does it. I do money in a very different way. And what that looks like is, as I say, figuring out the misaligned choices, the things that my clients are doing that are out of alignment and therefore vibrating no money or less money, versus doing things that are in alignment that will naturally vibrate money or more money. And the interesting thing about that is that every single thing, every single choice that somebody makes, even if it's not about business and even if it's not about money, it is still broadcasting whether or not somebody is available to receive money, particularly if they're a business owner, because as a business owner, we're wired in a very specific way. We are wired, if you like, to add value to the lives of other people through our gifts in exchange for money. So if money is a happy byproduct of alignment, essentially the favorite thing that I do is figure out what alignment looks like for my clients, so that I can show them where they need to course correct, and then I teach them how to do it all themselves so that they don't need me anymore. I kind of like teach them how to get me out of their lives. So I'm teaching them not to hire me anymore, I guess. I'm working my way out of a job.
Yeah, it's always kind of
That's
a
what
good
I do.
feeling.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you're like, hey, you're not gonna, I'm not gonna have to be there forever. We're gonna solve the problem, and you're gonna
Yeah,
be able to get
absolutely.
it. So, yeah, that's awesome. So what's you've been doing it for over 10 years. You've
Yeah.
obviously had some hard-won lessons. What's something that you would do differently or advise maybe a newer entrepreneur to do to kind of avoid some of the mistakes or the hard lessons that you had to learn along the way?
Oh gosh, what a great question. Well, I've had like there's a couple of times throughout my career where I kind of fell down in my business, even though alignment is what I teach. And even though I could see what I was doing at the time was out of alignment, it's funny how our egos get in the way and actually stop us stepping back into who we are and what we're designed to do and how we're meant to show up in the world. For me, actually for a lot of my clients as well, um, being open to receive help, asking for support, um, is is something that most of my clients aren't so great at. They tend to be very kind of motivated and high powered business owners, and we get it in our heads that we can do it all ourselves and we don't need any help and that kind of thing. And for me, I shot myself in the foot a couple of times with that. Now, you said what like if I could turn the clock back, I would do differently. I actually probably wouldn't do it differently because I genuinely believe that everything I've gone through um, gives me that kind of that journey of self-knowledge so that I'm able to add another string to my bow in terms of being able to help my clients. But what I do find is that often when things aren't going particularly well in a client's business, it can be because it is time for them to get support, either whether that's hiring support or whether it's just being open to receive more support, or asking for support in their lives. It doesn't even have to be in their business, because you can't actually compartmentalize energy. So that's one of the big things. And for me, asking for help a little bit too late has had me on my knees a couple of times in my business. So I definitely don't do what I did.
Yeah, no, we definitely need to be humble enough to know that other
Absolutely.
people can help us, uh
Absolutely.
and you're right. You went through some struggles and it made you who you are, and that's what brought you here.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean everybody has to go through the same one.
No,
So let's be.
absolutely not. And I like to think my clients aren't gonna like, like to steer my clients away from that.
Yeah, and being willing to listen to others is going to be huge, because we're going to make mistakes no matter what. Things are going to come, but you don't have to make the same ones that everybody else does. You can skirt a couple of them. Do yourself a favor, So awesome. Yeah, I like that. How about power partners? Who do you synergize well with? Other industries, other coaching, or I guess where do you find a lot of partnerships and collaborations?
Well, I love other coaches, to be honest. Other coaches and consultants tend to just be my kind of people. I've always partnered really well with those kinds of people. I'm opening up my network a bit more now for to people more like you, who are actually like power connectors. I've got a sense that somewhere inside, I would love to be wired that way. And what I teach my clients is that every time you aspire to be something, or like have a new skill, or you admire that kind of skill in somebody else, is often a way that your soul is directly communicating with you that that's part of your next level and what that could look like. And I never would have believed that about myself, but as I say, it's part of what I teach, and I do try as best I can to walk my talk. So I'm very open to that possibly being something that's coming up. And I'm meeting a lot of people like you that are just really great at connecting others at the moment. There are a lot of you in my world. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome to kind of see what other folks are doing and saying, I like that. I want to emulate a little bit of that, or maybe add to what I'm doing. So awesome. So when you look at your clients, what's the commonality between most or all of them, that if somebody's going through this issue, you're for sure going to be able to help them out?
Okay. Well, quite often they will find me when they are experiencing either a plateau or a decline in their income. They can also show up when they're in overwhelm. So they've gotten to a point where their businesses have kind of become a bit of a money eating monster, and they're working way too many hours and not making the money that either they used to make or that they want to make. People find me because they don't enjoy marketing. That's another reason people find me. And the reason that is because I'm like pretty invisible online. It's not, and I do very well. I'm very successful. So a lot of my clients kind of want to understand how to do that. So they'll find me. But when it comes to the financial side, it's going to be overwhelm or a decline in their income, confusion, and lack of clarity on what they've been doing that has kind of sent them down the wrong path. That's kind of where the sweet spot is.
Okay, awesome. So a lot of us, we see other people doing things that we want to do. We see people
Yeah.
are where they are, and we want to get there.
Yeah.
And maybe we try, maybe a lot of us, we go out and we try and emulate them. We read the books, we take the courses, we do all the stuff, and then we're not getting the results that others are. So
Mm.
how do we accomplish our goals uh, s- when we see somebody else doing what we want to do? How do we manifest that?
Okay, well, first of all, I don't like the word manifest, so I prefer the word creation, because what I teach is that you are manifesting every minute of every day. That is actually your superpower. And the word manifesting kind of gets bandied around a lot out there in terms of it's like really a big buzzword. But I feel like it's very much taken on this persona that it is only available for the chosen few, and that there's some sort of secret source to it, and that's absolute rubbish. You are designed to be a creator, and you are creating, manifesting, if you like, every minute of every day. If you're not getting what you want, you're just doing it wrong. And it's a case of, as I said, looking at the misaligned choices you're making, course correcting, and making aligned choices instead. And what you said was very interesting, because you mentioned how, like, we look around us and we see people that we want to emulate and people getting results that we're not getting, and we might invest in this program and that program and do all of the things. And that can be another reason why people come and find me, or why they land in my orbit, as I say, because you can go, like, bright shiny object syndrome can be a thing for my clients. They'll go around and they'll do a course, like a course on how to construct the perfect sales call, how to create the perfect funnel, how to figure out what social media posts to put out. There's so and how to manifest, like, the spiritual side of things. And they'll spend a ton of money on all of this stuff, and it won't actually get them the results. And the main reason is alignment is as unique as you are. Alignment for you is completely subjective. And when somebody's selling a course, and it says that it's going to give you the results that you want, it is only going to give you the results that you want if you're in alignment. And it's only going to give you the results that you want if you follow that strategy, or whatever that is. And that strategy is actually aligned for you. Now, it's always going to be aligned for the person that's selling it to you, and for the clients that they've gotten that have had success with it. But because we are all wired differently, we tend to spend a lot of money gathering all this information, and then we're kind of attached to doing it in a way that somebody else has said we need to do it. Then that will take us out of alignment. But then we beat ourselves up about that, and then we keep pushing and working harder. But then we find that we're in what I call the obligation, like the obligation energy, the obligation frequency. And that means we're broadcasting an obligation frequency. And because of the law of attraction, which states that like attracts like, I like to say the universe says yes. If you're broadcasting obligation, if you're vibrating in an obligation frequency, the universe will say yes and bring you more opportunities to do obligation. And that does not vibrate money. Money vibrates freedom, which is the opposite of obligation. So it's really important to understand what alignment looks like for you, because you can do all of the marketing and all of the digital programs, and you can spend a lot of money building funnels and all of the stuff that's out there that is really useful and really powerful. But you can do all of that, and if you are out of alignment yourself, it's not going to work. Whereas if you understand what alignment looks like for you, and you work with that in the world, and you focus on that instead, then you don't have to have any of that stuff to make money, to vibrate at a frequency of money. Like, when I started my business, I didn't have a website, I wasn't active on social media. I just understood how I was wired, and I followed that path. And now what I teach my clients is how to understand how they're wired and how to follow the path of alignment, so that everything that they've got and everything that they've invested in up to now works better than it did before and is easy and fun and fulfilling, which is what their business is supposed to be.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that. Is there anything that I missed that you wanted to add?
No, I mean, if I could give one tip, people always say to me, what's one thing I can do? What is one thing I can do right now that's going to get money moving in my business? And the answer to that is anywhere you're ignoring your money, stop. So if you're not looking at your bank accounts, or if you're not opening your letters, or if you're I don't know, if someone owes you money and you're not having the conversation, if you're not raising your invoices on time, there are so many different ways that we ignore money. And anywhere you're ignoring money, what you're actually broadcasting energetically is, I don't want to deal with money. I don't want to deal with my money. I don't want to deal with money. And then the universe reads that frequency and says, okay, if you don't want to deal with money, there'll be no money for you to deal with. And then your client pipeline dries up, or your clients stop paying you, or whatever, fill in your own blank. So one of the ways that business owners, entrepreneurs, or any other industry, to be honest, can actually get out of their own way regarding their money flow is to make a list of everywhere they've been putting off or avoiding doing something around money, and going and getting it done. I've like explained that step to probably hundreds of people now, and it's been known to make that change out of the gate. Fairly recently, someone I know had been kind of ignoring the pile of paperwork on his desk that was full of invoices and bills and stuff that needed to be paid, and he just hadn't had a chance to do it. He had some filing to do, some bank statements to shred, all that kind of stuff, and it's piling up on his desk. And once he'd done it, within a week of doing it, he got through unexpected channels, got an extra 25,000 to come through his business. That's how powerful that can be.
Oh yeah, yeah, that would be powerful. I
It's
definitely,
powerful.
definitely be a good day. So what's the best way that people get a hold of you if they want to have a conversation?
Okay, so the best platform to find me are probably going to be Facebook, because although I'm not active on there, I do love Facebook Messenger and I love to send voice notes to people. So people can send me a friend request, send me a DM on Facebook, let them know how they've heard from me, mention you so I'll know, and then we can open a dialogue. My website is www.soulwhispers.com. uk. If you go over there, there's you can fill out an assessment. So you can fill out my money alignment assessment, which take you about 10 minutes. And when that lands, those things, they light up like a Christmas tree for me. And I'll be able to see exactly what are a few new steps, a few new aligned choices somebody can make that aren't going to require a great deal of effort on their part, that are going to be the game changers. And so I'll be able to share my knowledge and expertise around how people can really get money moving very quickly just by answering those questions for me. So yeah, that's probably the best ways.
Perfect. And I'll be sure to put that in the description so people don't have to hunt for it.
Thank
If
you, Don.
anybody wants to get a hold of Karen, I absolutely recommend that you do it. You might just walk away a little bit more wealthy than you were going in. So feel free to reach out. If you prefer a three-way introduction or a little bit more shy, you can reach out to me. I'll happily make that introduction for you. If anybody out there would like to be interviewed, you can reach out to me as well. I'll have my link tree in the description. Grab a time. I'd love to have a conversation. But other than that, Karen, I really appreciate you taking your time today, chatting with us. I
Thank
think
you.
there's a lot for a lot of us to learn. So let's all get out there and meet some more people. All right.
Yeah, perfect. And thank you so much. It's been so much fun. I've loved talking to you.
It's my
Thanks.
pleasure.